Hi there, time to look at virtuals through the Wyckoff lens. So, if you're new to my sessions, here are the 3 key items that I will cover during the session. So let's start with the weekly chart. Here, we're looking at a post sign of strength stage. Trying to move the text, not the line. So, last week we talked about highly likely further tests will continue. And this week, confirmed, that it's coming down to below the orange key level of 9.3, 93 cents. Okay, so as of now, there's a tendency for it to come to test even the red key level of 67 cents, which isn't surprising because we already talked about the potential of a spring or subsequent tests that can get as low as or lower than the second test and the selling climax. One key thing is that for young coins like virtual, we have to be very careful or cautious how far deep they can go, because initially when it first started, they have the initial kind of support or attention that no other competitors or competing coins have, and it tends to give them a little bit of boost or support that they stay higher. However, when the real test comes, the price can go below the initial price. All right, we haven't seen that yet for virtual, and I hope whatever is going on right now is close to the at least the near-term bottom of virtual. Okay, I'm not saying the spring is going to end at the white line. Okay, there's still a chance for it to go below the white line. What I said just now is a hope that what we have seen in March this year is like the lowest in 2025 and hopefully 2026 for virtual. Okay, because we see what happened in 2024 November. It went to the level of the white line, and October 10th went even lower than that. Okay, if I enlarge it, you see that wick poke straight through at a level that's even lower than what happened on October last year, 28th, the week of 28th. All right, so while we remain optimistic to see more tests before the actual sign of strength appears, hopefully above the blue key level of $2, best to challenge the purple key level of 2.31. Alright, and then eventually show us another distribution, assuming it is going to come back to challenge where it has challenged at the end of last year. Alright, so this is the big picture, more tests to come. And when we get to the daily, we'll be able to see a little bit more. So last week we were asking the question, are we getting into a preliminary support stage? And it looks to me we are currently at that stage. We said there is a 35% chance to show a last point of supply, and indeed it showed up. If candlestick chart isn't clear to you as to what that means, it's actually a little rebound after a sign of weakness. So if I turn it to a line chart, you see that little hill over here. That's the LPSY. All right. So the current stage, the price has gone below the orange key level, or trying to stay around the orange key level. But you see today's candlestick, this long wick above, that's the rejection from that level. And the volume, even though we're climbing, isn't very high. And be cautious, even if it's high, because of this rejection, that means quite a number of people were selling at this point. So hopefully the volume will remain low. And also one more point, yesterday and today was the weekend. So when we get back to the weekdays, we'll be able to see actually what's going to happen next. The only positive I spot is that on November 20th, the candlestick looks gigantic, but the volume isn't. So that may be a relieving sign that it wasn't trying to go very deep further. But the day after kind of neutralized the thinking. So taking an average, it may take a pause at the current level. Just that it may try something like what it did during October. Alright, this level that is taking a pause, there was a peak at this level, October 13th and 14th. So that's why we're seeing a mild support at this moment. But that may not last long. Okay? I haven't drawn a channel box or an air hockey table over here. Might as well try to draw this while we're in this downtrend. Let's use that LPSY as the first reference, and what we're going through right now. It's not a very strong box or air hockey table. I've explained before, right? We've got only like 3 reference points. So if the price changes further, we'll have to adjust the channel box to see or make it tighter to the price actions. So here, supposedly coming Tuesday was a breakout opportunity, assuming the price trades above the orange key level. Not saying it's too far from the orange, so there's still a chance when we get to Tuesday or Wednesday, the price will break outside of this downtrend if it really shoots high enough. Because if it just edges outside of this box, like I said, then I will adjust this box so it's actually meaning a less steep trajectory. Okay, so by next week when we come back, we'll be able to tell whether that breakout has happened, or is it just this trend is still developing. Okay, so that's why it's still testing the boundaries. If we are going through or entering the preliminary support period as of this moment, then the selling climax may end up somewhere near the spring back in October, or maybe this is not the lowest point. The subsequent test, may it be second test or just test or even spring, may get to a level that has been indicated on October 10th. Alright, so Virtual, while as a young coin, looks pretty solid during this downturn. However, like I said in the beginning, be very cautious that we haven't seen its lowest point yet, and that's going to be really tricky whether October 10th has given us sufficient indication, or is it going to get worse than October 10th. That's something that we'll soon find out. Thanks for joining me today. See you in other sessions.